How often do I water it? That's a question I get a lot. If you go to Google and you ask, how often do I water a marshmallow plant, you're very likely to get a piece of useless advice like, oh, half a cup a day. Or if you're lucky, you might get something like, marshmallow requires moderate watering, a piece of advice which is moderately helpful. For instance, an ephedra plant, and here's an ephedra chilensis, is going to require fairly moderate water. Cacti, same, moderate water, infrequent watering, creates a more healthy cactus plant. Whereas something like a patchouli is going to require daily watering because it's the nature of the plant to appreciate a moist substrate. Think about it. In reality, you're watering the soil, not the plant. So my best piece of advice is to look at the soil. Here you have an ephedra equisetina seedling in a flat. And if I look at the soil, see how friable it is? That means that this plant could probably be watered because the surface is dry. Expansion and contraction, that's a cyclic kind of maneuver that plants tend to really appreciate. They like water, but only after they've become dry, after the substrate is dry. If you look further over in this flat, towards the center, where there's less airflow, the soil is still moist, and it cloys together like that. You can squeeze it together, it stays together. That probably doesn't need to be watered. So a plant like this could be watered differentially. Here, I'll show you. When you're watering, get a gentle flow going. First, prime the surface with a little bit of water, let it soak in, and then water again. This time a little bit more thoroughly, and the water will percolate down to the bottom of the pot, and the roots will follow that water as it percolates down. Here's a flat of lobelia seedlings. When you just first plant seeds, the surface should be kept evenly moist. Don't allow it to dry out in between waterings. In the moister parts of the flat, you can see that germination has been rampant. Whereas if you come down to the drier parts of the flat, you see that there's no germination at all here, or the germination is occurring only in the moist shade at the edge of the pot. That's why you plant lots of seeds. Then seedlings from this overcrowded area can be eventually transplanted down to areas where there are less seedlings, and you can achieve a full flat that way. Here's a Monardella odoratissima, the characteristic purple underside to the leaf. It's a bergamot type from the Siskiyous and California. This is a plant which you want to water fairly infrequently. And when you do water it thoroughly so that the roots come through to the bottom, like that. Good horticulturalists are going to have a tendency to lift the plants and look at the root structure more frequently than they look at the top of the plant, because that tells you more about how the plant is integrating into the cell. This is a yarrow from the Oregon coast, Achillea millefolium var. Littoralis. In general, you want to let that surface dry before you water it. And when you do water it, You want to water it thoroughly.